live on location. Appreciate everybody bearing with us here as we are live at Skip Butte Stadium on the campus of North Dakota State College of Science, continuing a tradition that we've done the last few years of bringing you live to Cody Mauch's annual football camp. The big man is here himself to join us to start the proceedings on. First off, thanks for whipping up a beautiful weather day for us.
Oh, God, can't beat this right here, I know.
How you been, big man?
Good, yeah, been good. Just, I don't know, kind of was grinding away at the off season and nice little month break here now, so.
I want to get to you in just a second, but this, I know, is a big deal. This is the third one doing it. When I was down here for year one, I think you were blown away that how big it was. Now it's become a deal. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, we've tried to slowly add more kids because that's always the biggest complaint. Oh, I didn't get signed up and my kid didn't get signed up. And it's like, that's the one thing you fight, is, well, number one, you kind of run out of space doing this stuff and having the people to help. But, yeah, it's crazy what it's already come to in 3 years and excited to do it now.
Yeah.
I think the kids are going to love being on the turf, small town, North Dakota, Minnesota kids. They don't get to play on turf. So I think they're going to be pretty excited about that.
So the last couple of years, we've been across the street. We've been over by the high school, basically on an open field over there. Tell me how this came about of coming over at NDSCS.
I don't know exactly how. We were still planning to do it over there, and I think it was, more of a logistics thing than anything, whether they were doing construction or something over there, and then they kind of mentioned, hey, we could do it at the field here, and I'm like, honestly, that might work better. So I think it'll go well. We're working with one field versus the three we had last year, so I think we'll be able to make it work, and everyone will have a fun time.
I know you lined up the practice fields though over here behind the stadium, so you're for any excess over there that kids are going to be able to go over there.
Yeah, we got a couple fields just on standby. We're hoping that our layout's going to work, but it's one of those things you don't really know until you do it.
I haven't been here since they've turfed it. It's fantastic.
Oh,
I remember being here, and you growing up not too far from here. This was sometimes a disaster zone at the end of September.
This is my first time seeing it too. I kind of knew they had this done, and I think my last time here was probably track meets in high school. So it looks a little bit nicer than it did back then.
How many kids you have signed up here today?
I don't know the exact number. I want to say it's 300.
Wow.
I think we're doing about 150 a group, awesome. But I don't know if that's for sure. But yeah, so it's whatever it is, however many we cap it at. That cap hits within a day of the camp getting the link getting sent out.
To hear you say that, have you processed like, wow, that beyond? You were hoping for like 10 when you first started this a couple years ago, right?
That's what my first year doing it. I'm like, if we could get 100 kids, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I think we had 200 the first year, and that was kind of because we didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of capped it at that, and then we realized, hey, we could probably do a couple more. So we try to add a little bit more. A little bit more every single year, and it's crazy how far it's come in 3 years.
What's the age range, Cody, for people that are watching here today that are, hey, okay, maybe next year I want to sign my kid up?
It's there's two groups. The first group is 3rd through 5th graders going into 3rd grade to 5th grade, and the second group is 6th to 8th graders. So keep it in that elementary, middle school range for now.
What was the first time you remember doing anything football related? How old were you?
I mean, outside of just fooling around in the yard with my brother, I think probably the Phil Hansen camp when he had those in Wapaton here. And I was probably about the same age. I bet I was, a 3rd grader or so. So that was probably about my first memory. And that was kind of, why I wanted to start doing this was I remember how sweet it was to go and do that. And you see Phil Hansen even for a little bit and you get the T-shirt. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. So when I had the, opportunity to do that, it is so cool.
What has been reaction from the kids that have come up to you? They're probably in awe to meet you, but say to do this, I'm sure you've had a couple that have done it both the first 2 years. What's that reaction been like to you?
It's awesome. I mean, they always, show out, have a great time, but it's like the best part is when, we're just out in the community and I'll get, random kids just coming up like yesterday we were at the Pizza Ranch for Father's Day and a kid comes up and he's like, hey, I'm going to your camp tomorrow. And it's stuff like that, there's, it'll be the, if we're back for a bye week or something and I'll see a kid, he will tell me the story of coming to my camp. And I just think that's so cool that they remember it and it sticks with them. So, no, that's the coolest part is just you can see how much, they enjoy it. So
you've enlisted everybody, your old high school coach, your dad's. I mean, tell me about people that want to reach out and help you in doing this.
Yeah, honestly, Moneylaws, my high school coach, it was kind of he brought the idea to me the first year. He said, hey, we should do something like this. And So he's, he spearheads it with me. So, him and I are on every call and every, email chain, getting stuff lined up. And then I just, I try to get NDSU guys to come down. Understandable now, guys are busy and work. It's a Monday, guys are working. Try to get the NFL guys, but they have hectic schedules. So I, really the local high school, coaches and there's some Breckenridge football players and Wapaton and Hankinson guys. So just try to get, I don't know, really anyone to come out and help.
They're not, Bison guys blowing you off? What are they doing? What's everybody doing here? Come on.
I was bad this year about reaching out, and I feel like such a bother asking, hey, do you want to come down to Wapaton and do this camp? But I got Nash Jensen's coming today, so that'll be really thankful for him.
Well, your guy Zabel became a big deal since he was here last year.
Yeah, it's
holy
crazy.
cow!
You win a Super Bowl and you can't come to a kids camp anymore. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
So tell me about the last 365 days. Been a lot. You got married. Obviously, you had this last year. The season goes, and I want to get to what happened. How do you encapsulate the last year?
Yeah, I was actually, so yesterday was our anniversary, and I was talking to my wife. We're like, really, this was probably one of the worst years ever. Like, just thinking, like, just like some personal stuff, and then I played 2 games, and then I'm out the entire year, and we're like, we really got thrown a lot of crap this year. But I mean, I guess I don't know what to say. The first 2 games were going good and whatnot, and then you get a season-ending injury, and that just throws a wrench in your plans.
So I'll get to the injury in a second. Tell me first on the other side of it. How you feeling now, going through OTAs, mini camp, and how everything went there?
Yeah, it was good. The first I was so excited. Like I've never been this excited for an off season because I just wanted to get back out there. And so the first couple weeks were, I guess probably more in my own head, like, how's the knee, how's my injury doing? And, the first couple times, we started practicing in the off season, that was what I was thinking about was how's my knee going to do? And it was great. It went well. Yeah. Everything was good. And especially by this point, after, 15, 20 practices that we had, I feel 100%. So that's kind of my goal I was shooting for. And now I'm, again, never been as excited for a fall camp as I have right now.
When did you get out of your own head? Was it right away? Did it take a OTA or 2 to say, okay, I'm good?
It took a few, because, you do all the rehab stuff and you do, running and O-line drills on air, but that's not really, that's a tough gauge. So it was probably the, second or third OTA practice where you're blocking and you're kind of anchoring against a bull rush or something, and that's kind of that was when I'm like, oh, you know what, my knee feels like I didn't even realize it until after the day. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So it did take a couple days of actual football stuff to be like, we're back.
So we have the video from the Monday night game. You guys are playing playing Houston. You actually make a huge block on a touchdown. Is that when it happened?
No, that was after it happened. So it had happened right at halftime, and I just was kind of trying to torque a guy and block him, and I just kind of he fell on top of me, and my knee just buckled in, and that's when it happened. So again, at the time, I thought I landed on it weird, or I took a helmet and it was a bone bruise or something. I didn't expect it to be a torn meniscus. So I played the rest of the game just kind of, I could tell it hurt, but it was, it's football. You get stuff all the time. I didn't think it was anything that serious. So it happened, relatively early in the game.
So you play after so you fly back. Are you in pain? Like, tell me about that afterwards.
Again, like not much more pain than I was in, after most games. So it was tough. I was limping and it was tough. But I get like even if you get a minor, MCL sprain or something, it hurts. Like that hurts. So they're like, we did an x-ray and it was all good, and I'm like, okay, we're good. And then they're like, well, let's get an MRI just to be safe. And that's when we went, and they're like, yeah, it's actually fully torn in 2 places.
Wow.
So I did not expect that because it hurt, but I mean, no worse than any other stuff I'd had. So it was just kind of a bummer.
Patella and meniscus, right?
Yes, yeah. So
what's the reaction when the doctor tells you that? I
was like in disbelief. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I was like trying to point back. I'm like, but the X-ray was good, like, right? Like,
you're bargaining with them?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, they're like, yep, it's. Wow. And then they kind of said the 2 paths. We could, because the thing about these knees is they don't know until they go in and scope it and see what's going on. So I was going into the surgery not knowing if I'm going to be out, and they, trim the meniscus. I don't know if I'm going to be out for 2 weeks or the entire season. So I get out of surgery, and that's when my wife was like, yeah, you're done for the season. And that was like, oh my God, I was all looped up on pain meds. I was probably crying. Like, it was just, that was tough news.
When you came to it and realized just what was the action? Like, I can't play again?
I didn't know. I've never dealt with, especially serious injuries. I've never really dealt with missing any time. So I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to navigate this rehab process and whatnot. And like, that was kind of my first thing was I thought was like, shoot, this is going to be a long, 6 to 8 months.
Week 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, we just, started. I'm feeling great. Like I was playing well. And yeah, that was, so it's just the ultimate bummer. And I don't know, all the emotions just kind of hit you.
So you have the surgery, are you like sitting on your couch a couple days later, like, well, now what?
Exactly. Because it's like, I'm like, still, right away going to meetings and like, I still want to be a part of it. That picks up a lot more. So I didn't watch practice. I had one time as while they're practicing, that's when I'm doing my lifts and rehab runs into the meeting time. So I'm really not like seeing the guy. Like that's the worst part about the injury is how isolated it is. You'll see them around the locker room and whatnot, but you're not like not out there with them. And like they come in from the field and they have all these inside jokes from the day, and I'm just kind of like lost and don't know what's going on. So that was the toughest part, was just how isolated like the feeling was.
What was the rehab process like? Consider this is the first major injury you've ever had. Describe mentally going through that, let alone physically what the challenge was.
It's tough because you have to, like, for me, I just set like so many like small goals, like getting off the crutches. That was a huge goal because I was on the crutches for 8 weeks, which 8 weeks, sounds like a long time, but it feels like a really long time when you're the one on the crutches. And so it was just, small victories here and there. And there were so many times where, I was 10 weeks out of the surgery. Obviously, it was bothering me, and I'm like, it's never the same. Like, that hit me so many times. I would just think, like, oh, my gosh, it's not healing and whatnot. And they're like, just trust it. This is all part of it. So I had a lot of just mental fights with myself about you got to trust the process, trust the rehab time and whatnot.
Way easier said than done, right?
Oh, it is. It's like exactly. Like I always said that too. I'm like, oh, just do your rehab and it'll be fine. But when you're the one feeling what it's like, you're like, I'm never going to be the same.
So did you go to any home games? Or you couldn't do that just mentally?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm here, but I can't play.
While I was still on crutches, so for the first 8 weeks, we have a little, they have a box for the injured guys and the practice squad guys. So I would go up there because they didn't want me on the field just with the crutches, and a play comes to the sideline.
Wipe you out, right?
Tough to get out of the way there, and so that was tough. Was watching the game from up in the box, and eventually I did get to be back on the sideline, and that was nice. That was nice to be a part of it, be a part of the the talks, the adjustments on the sideline. But it took 12 weeks probably before I was able to go do that again.
Watching the team play, and especially how the season played out, like I can be out there, I can help us win. How tough was that?
That's such a hard feeling because you have the most faith in the guys that are out there playing, but also selfishly and competitively, I'm like, I could be out there making a difference, and like just little things like that. That was so like you feel so helpless not being able to do anything about it.
When did you feel? Was it after the season was done 100%, or was it at the tail end of the season?
It was a little bit longer than the end of the season. It was probably about end of February because the last 2 months everything was feeling great. It was feeling fine. It's just I lost so much muscle mass on that leg, so that was the biggest thing, was building back the quad strength and hamstrings, and really hammering those things. So it was probably the end of February where I was right before OTA started up, where I was like, okay, we're good to go.
So the season plays out, obviously comes down to the last game. You guys win and then have to wait and get help, and obviously that didn't come.
That's the worst. Like, we did our part, and again, we shot ourselves in the foot. It was on us, but you win your last game, and then now you're watching on TV hoping that this team beats that team, and that's the most helpless feeling right there, is hoping someone else wins so you can get in. So that was just a bummer of a weekend.
To have it play out, the season it's end of the season. How much are you in conversation with Coach Canales, the entire team, of, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're, draft purposes? Are you a part of that, or no?
No, we're not. They kind of, they handle all that. We even it comes to draft night, and we really have we don't even know what needs we're trying to take. Because sometimes you might need a defensive end, and then a guy like Emeka Ibuka comes up. Yeah, we're going to take that receiver.
Guy, right?
So we have no idea, and it's almost like we're looking at each other like, don't take a guard in the first round.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's like
right?
little selfish things like that. But no, the draft play, and then But it all works out the way it's supposed to, because we don't make the playoffs, obvious bummer. But then we draft a guy like we drafted Ruben Bain in the first round, who absolutely fantastic.
Tell me
player.
about going against that guy.
Goodness,
huh?
he is. His whole knock was the short arms coming out of college, and I understand that.
You heard
I
that
got
same
knocked
one.
for that as well.
Yes.
And I mean, just through the OTAs and minicamp we have so far, the short arms don't matter for him. He is an absolute beast. So I'm excited to see him work this year.
So, game 1, week 1, you're all clear, ready to go?
100%, yeah. 100, yeah. Took every snap I was supposed to this offseason, and now it's just focusing on week 1.
Tell me about that. Even the first preseason game, you think you'll get much work? And if you do, are you going to rip the door off the hinges for that first one?
I mean, because we don't know. Preseason, usually the starters will play, maybe one of the games or something. So we're not exactly sure when we're going. But I'm excited. You're never that excited for preseason. I just want to get back out there and play competitive football again.
I'm just looking ahead here at the old schedule. Did you look at that when they come? You pay attention to that now. Say, hey, the Vikings are coming to Tampa this year.
I've been excited about that one.
Bet.
We got so many Vikings fans here, and honestly, the reason I know the schedule so well is my dad's always on us about, hey, these people are coming, and we got he's trying to figure out tickets and whatnot. So and who's staying at the house this weekend. So yeah, it's the Vikings at home that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if you got any weird. Do you have any weird trips this year?
Not really.
Okay.
We looked the schedule. I think the furthest we go might be Chicago.
That's
so
all right.
we got a pretty good travel schedule.
The Packers are coming to Tampa. That's going to be a big deal.
That'll
That's
be
pretty
fun.
cool.
No, it's better. Last year they went to L.A. and then Seattle, so about the 2 furthest away games you could go to. So yeah.
Couple last things here before I let you go, and I know you got a ton to do. Did you have family in the stands in Houston that night? Was anybody at the game? Besides your wife?
I don't know if anyone was that game. I think because I remember kind of leaving the locker room, and I don't remember going to see anyone after. I don't think anyone was. So I literally, saw the doctor after the game, and then I kind of limped my way to the bus, and I think that was it. So no one was there.
So we're gonna have your dad on next. What was that conversation like to have on the phone? Like, hey, I'm done.
Well, that was right away. I called my dad, called my brother, and I'm like, hey, I kind of banged my knee, and they could tell because you could tell watching. I was limping between plays. They're like, yeah, we could tell, and I'm like, I don't think it's anything bad, so don't worry, And that was the thing they're thinking too is they're like, oh, we're not going to go to the Houston game because we're going to go to these games throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then that happens, and it kind of just throws a wrench. You don't know when your last snap's going to be for a year. So, but yeah, then I call him the next day. I'm like, yeah, it's torn and I need surgery. And he's like, what the heck? I thought we were good. And I'm like, you're telling me.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I know you're in the submarine, but I got to ask about hearing the news on NDSU moving up to FBS and going to the Mountain West Conference. Where were you when you heard it? And give me your thoughts on it.
We have a little text group with a bunch of my buddies that I played with, and I remember kind of someone breaking the news, and I think it's good. Like, we're all really excited for it, a new challenge and whatnot, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch, nationally televised games now, so we'll be able to watch them from anywhere, and pretty excited to see how they do in that step.
Do you have any teammates that played in the Mountain West? You got any UNLV guys?
We have a UTEP guy.
Okay.
I got one of the linemen's a UTEP guy. So, and that's the thing too, is it's walking around the building now. It's like because someone mentioned something. Hey, NDSU, moved up, and I'm like, yeah, you better watch out. Like, hey, we're coming now, so we're in the big leagues. So
well, and I'm just. We're talking off air here about our plans about covering, like trip to Hawaii, a trip to Las Vegas, New Mexico. I mean, you got to go to Macomb and Southern Illinois. I mean, this is just different. I'm still trying to wrap my mind on it. We're 68 days out from it. I'm still trying to wrap my mind about what this is going to be like.
I know, and that's a good point. Like, these guys get to go to Hawaii and Vegas. I think the coolest trip we probably took was either like Delaware or
Tucson.
We played Arizona. Like that was cool. But now they're doing stuff like that every single Hawaii. Are you kidding me? Like, and it's not. Yeah, it's cool to go play in Hawaii, but the things I think about are how cool those plane rides and buses are.
Yes.
The long plane ride with all your buddies. So, God, they're gonna have fun.
Is this the last? Do you have anybody still connected that you either was on the team, or is that everybody graduated or moved on now since you played? Which makes me feel really old, by the way. It's only 4 years ago.
I know it does. I know because I look at it now and I don't know.
I was trying to think of that. I don't know if
anything,
there was or not.
they were probably the freshmen when I was coming in, but I'm not. I bet there was probably one class left now, so it's crazy.
It's wild in its own right. It's great to see you. I really appreciate doing this. Thanks so
Yeah,
much. I'm
thank
glad
you.
you're healthy, man. Congrats on doing this again and for hosting us again today.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Thanks, Tom.
Cody Mauch joining us, former North Dakota State All-American here to get us started here today. Let's break. We'll get reset up. We got our best of the weekend coming and show you what's coming up on our show here over the next hour and 35 minutes or so. We're back live in Wahpeton at Cody Mauch's football camp right after this.